Welcome to Stonehands. Sound is not just music. Sound is a curve. And music is sound with a beat. And the rap music is a beat with the words. As we explore how architecture evolves with the sound, with the sounds. This square amplifies a simple rules of modern architecture, which is fighting with the classical curves and beauty. Through evolution of time, architecture has developed hand in hand with sound. When we have more natural, more simple states of buildings, it's related to the bird song, to the natural sounds. And as we have developed into the urban landscapes, we have found the evolution of rap music that has given a way or a shape for mass apartment buildings. I reckon that Le Corbusier, with his apartment architecture, is the proto-rap music architect. How in the last century, massive building blocks or housing were built in a way of squares and simplifying all the living opportunities. We have few rayons in this city which was planned during the Soviet era, and they look awful on this very moment. But when they were developed, the architect and the city planners, they were talking how they were making social co-housing, that they had in the middle of every housing block, they had a tower. And in the tower, they had like the shops and the hairdressers, etc. And next to the block, there was 2 kindergartens, a school, and then all the apartment housing. So it was kind of a utopia. And around the housing blocks, they had green belts of nature where people could go from their apartments. Eventually, by creating the modern housing standards, we have disconnected humankind from the natural environments, and we have started making music that is not in harmony, but that is an expression of social dilemmas or social norms. Like 100 years ago, after the First World War, they started making dystopian or disharmonic classical music that was squeaky violins harassing your eardrums. Yes? But now 100 years later, we are making music that is a social commentary, that is bringing out the crises and actually making this harmony in the body. But it's an expression of art, expression of soul. And it's also a reflection of the places where we are living and how we are living. Oh, there was an electric car, Porsche Cayenne. So that's just an expression of the spirit. But as humans, we are always looking for beauty, and we want to come back to the nature, back to the living platforms. So in many big cities like Milano, etc., they are creating apartment buildings that have green roofs and trees on the balconies. That's something that we desire to experience. And by acknowledging this thing, I am really confused about the story of history. And I will tell you why. This is an industrial cityscape. Over there you can see a ship crossing the bay. That's beautiful. But the story of history, when people are telling that few centuries ago we were aggressive warmongers, having wars and conflicts all the time, and people were in constant fear and state of survival. How the heck they were able to build such beautiful buildings that we see in the old towns? I really start believing that the theory of Tartaria, that there was a advanced culture that was harnessing free energy, is true, because I have built few houses, and I'm not a master builder. My father is a master builder, but I am a master dreamer, and I'm really good at dreaming those houses into living beings. And to dream magnificent architecture, we must have space and time and right tools to make it happen. And the stories about the wars, the stories about conflicts, during such times, people do not have room or space to dream when they are in the state of survival. So that's why it's so suspicious, the story of history. In Ireland, they have a lot of round towers, 60, 100, that are still preserved. And yes, I do not know the exact amount, but the story of history tells monks built them to defend themselves from the Viking raids. That's just gibberish. That's not even logical how you defend yourself in a narrow round tower. But when we measure the paramagnetic amplifying powers of those round towers, we see how everything in the nature is more healthier and grows better near those towers. That's just one of the many inconsistencies and peculiarities from the history that make me wonder what the heck is going on. In the Celtic world, there were perpetual singing choirs that were harmonizing a vibration of an area. So basically, there were people singing all day, all night long. Of course, some of them were exchanged, etc. But it showed the complexity and the structure of the ancient culture. In the last century, in France, the Franciscan monks were prohibited to sing for some reasons. And suddenly their health deteriorated, and they started modifying their diet, giving them medical aid, and no doctor could figure out what is going on until Alfredo Domati, who is an ear specialist, came to help and said, the monks are not singing anymore. That's the problem. And the monks started singing once again, and suddenly they were fully empowered and in full strength and able to do all the chores and hard work that they were used to. Singing gives the power back to a person. Singing is the basis of longevity and health, and we can impact others. Like when you listen someone singing a beautiful opera or an aria, that's just beautiful, if the words are correct, of course. Oh, Pablo, why did you betray me? No, these are not good lyrics. But something, the beauty in the nature, the creation force, etc. Okay, you can have beautiful poetry and you can make music out of it. I know it because I have heard it. When you listen to some poets singing beautiful songs, you're captivated with the whole of your soul. And when you are captivated, you are in a state of trance and in a state of admiration from which you can start creating or replicating some beautiful aspects of life and giving it all back to the world. So in my feeble opinion, we should start aiming to beautify the music once again, that we could beautify the architecture, the buildings, and we can start creating beautiful visions of the present and the future and the past. But when we are stuck in the stories of violence and disharmony. We are just creating such environment, and we are just creating those suspicious buildings in the concrete jungles. But we, as human beings, we come out from the earth, we come out from the nature, and we deserve to be served with the joy, with the bird song, with the touch of a grass and the song of a tree. Yes, the trees, they sing. When you go and listen closely, you will eventually hear them singing. Yes. Oh, no, no, no. I'm not a crazy person telling you so. But I know quite a few people who actually hear the song of the trees. Like some people, they can hear the noise coming from the electrical wiring and the cables, saying, oh, they are disturbing my sleep. Everything has a vibration and sound, like this ceiling has its own vibration that you can actually affect with the right notes, that you can produce with your throat or with some powerful instrument. There's this man who calculated that probably the walls of Jericho in the Bible were destroyed with a low G note by the trumpets. So you can actually influence matter with sound. Like there are those pictures from the monks singing, throat singing in the Himalayas and making giant boulders levitate. It's possible, but it's not easy. That's a totally different question, a totally different topic. The human creation and imagination is always captivating. Over there is an igloo village next to the old industrial port. So keep in mind how you can beautify your environment, how you can make choices that create harmony within your soul and transmit it to others. It does not have to be sound. It can be your physical actions of giving joy, of helping others, or actually making beautiful music. That that could be a thing, but it can be everything or anything. Even building beautiful buildings and houses is a solution of amplifying your soul's power, or creating a garden where someone can contemplate. Why not? You decide what ignites you, what gives you joy of creation, and you create and you share it to the world. That's the purpose of life, to create beautiful things. I'm not saying meaningful. No, they do not have to have a meaning. They have to be something that comes out from you, from pure joy. That's the meaning of life, to create things from pure joy. Things, okay, environments, feelings, or material things, whatever comes from your joy, and to share it with the world. That's the purpose of life. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and see you soon again.